You've spent your whole life feeling like you were standing on the outside of the world, watching everyone else move with ease. Shallow conversations, temporary connections, relationships without depth. You always loved differently, felt differently, saw life differently. People told you that you were too much, or too deep, or too sensitive, but you knew in your soul that numbness was never who you were meant to be. And then one day, without warning, someone enters your life, and everything inside you stops. Time slows, the noise around you fades. It's not attraction or excitement or curiosity, it's recognition. Their presence feels like coming home to a place you've never been, yet somehow always belonged. You don't stumble through small talk. You don't perform. You don't hide. Your souls speak before your mouths do, whispering to each other, I know you. You feel seen without needing to explain, understood without needing to translate the language of your heart. You aren't trying to be understood. You already are. And in that moment, something inside you wakes up and says, I've met you before. Not in this lifetime, but somewhere. Because awakened souls don't meet by accident. They remember each other. Let's begin. Number 1. The recognition, I know you, but we've never met. There are moments in life when you meet someone and everything inside you shifts. Not slowly, not gradually, but suddenly. Like your soul just snapped awake. It doesn't make sense logically. You've never seen their face before. You don't know their story. You don't know their habits, their childhood, their past. And yet, in a single moment, you feel like you have known them across lifetimes. It's not attraction, not infatuation, not even curiosity. It's recognition. It feels less like meeting and more like remembering. You don't analyze it, you feel it. Your eyes meet, and instead of sparks, there is familiarity. Instead of nervousness, there is calm. Instead of walls, there is openness. Their presence doesn't activate your insecurities, it softens them. You don't have to perform or pretend. Your soul takes a deep breath because finally it has found someone who speaks the same silent language. With awakened souls, there is no awkward beginning, no trying to impress, no filling the silence with empty words. The silence itself feels like a conversation, one that says, I already know you. It's as if your energy rises to meet theirs, sinking in a rhythm your mind could never orchestrate. The conversation begins before the words do. Something in your chest recognizes something in theirs. You can't explain why you trust them, why you feel safe near them, why you open up faster than you normally would. You just do. Your guard doesn't drop, it dissolves. And in that moment you realize this isn't a coincidence, it's alignment. When two awakened souls meet, there is an immediate inner knowing. Your body relaxes, your heartbeat steadies, and the mind quiets, because it no longer has to ask, am I safe? Your soul already knows the answer. You feel seen, not because they study you, but because they recognize your depth instinctively. They don't just hear your words, they feel your silence. You don't need to translate your emotions or explain your intuition. They simply understand. Your mind says, this makes no sense, but your soul whispers, this is real. Every part of you wakes up. Your intuition gets louder. Your awareness sharpens. Your heart opens. You can feel something ancient in the space between you. Like unfinished conversations from another time are finally being continued. People around you will say, you just met. But inside you know that's not true. You feel like you've been walking toward this soul your entire life. There is no resistance, no effort, no force. You don't try to match their energy. Your energies just fit, like puzzle pieces that have been waiting years to finally connect. And it goes deeper than familiarity. It feels sacred. You can sit beside them without talking and feel completely understood. You can look into their eyes and see not just who they are now, but who they were before life happened to them. You see their wounds and their wisdom. You see their strength and their softness. You see everything they learned the hard way, and you honor it, because you've walked through your own darkness too. Awakened souls don't connect through perfection. They connect through truth. Your soul doesn't recognize their smile or their face. It recognizes their vibration. It remembers the frequency. It remembers how their energy feels. It remembers the peace. And in that moment, something inside you shifts. Friendships you forced, relationships you held onto, just to avoid being alone, connections built on convenience. They all begin to feel small, because suddenly you understand what it feels like to be met, to be matched, to be mirrored. This person doesn't complete you. They reflect you. They show you who you are at your highest, most authentic level. They remind you of your power, your purpose, your depth. You don't cling to them. You don't attach from fear. You connect from truth. You don't chase them. Your souls simply walk toward each other without hesitation. This isn't chemistry. This is recognition. I know you. I don't know how I know you, but I know you. Your logical mind wants answers. Why them? Why now? What does this mean? But your soul has only one response. Thank you. Because awakened souls don't meet by accident. They meet when both people have learned enough, healed enough, matured enough to finally hold a connection that is deeper than the physical, wider than the emotional, and older than the current lifetime. When that type of soul appears, don't question it. Feel it, experience it, honor it, because your soul doesn't meet people, it remembers them. Number 2, the connection. Deep conversations without pretending. When two awakened souls begin to speak, the world around them fades into a gentle blur, like a movie going out of focus, so only the main characters remain. It's not small talk, not the usual exchange of rehearsed answers and polite nods. It is depth, meeting depth. They don't ask, "What do you do?" They ask, "What sets your soul on fire?" They don't say, "How are you?" They ask, "How is your heart?" Every conversation becomes a doorway into their inner world. Hours pass without either of them noticing, because time becomes irrelevant when souls are speaking instead of egos. They talk about everything people usually hide, their pain, their fears, their doubts, the moments that broke them and the choices that built them. They don't compete to speak. They listen fully, with presence. They don't judge. They understand. They don't perform. They reveal. With them, you don't feel the need to be interesting. You just feel safe to be real. The moment you meet them, your soul relaxes. You can finally exhale. It's like unclenching muscles you didn't know you'd been holding tight for years. You don't have to shrink your emotions or censor your truth. You don't have to pretend to be okay when you're not. They make it feel natural to speak about what really matters. The moment you learned that pain can grow you, the dream that scares you because it means so much, the version of yourself you are still becoming, and they don't run from the heaviness. They sit with it, holding space for your vulnerability, like it's something precious. They don't interrupt with solutions. They validate your feelings. They don't compare their scars to yours. They honor the journey that shaped you. There is a sacred kind of intimacy that forms not from touching bodies, but from touching truths. Conversations flow effortlessly from childhood wounds to soul purpose, from heartbreak to spiritual awakening. Nothing feels off limits. Nothing feels too deep, too intense, too strange. Instead of being too much, you finally feel understood. Instead of being afraid of your emotions, you feel seen through them. With them, your darkness doesn't scare them. It connects them. Your dreams don't intimidate them. They inspire them. And there's no pretending, no highlight reel, no emotional armor. You speak like you've known each other for lifetimes, because in a way you have. These conversations aren't just exchanges of words. They are exchanges of energy. You feel heard, not just by their ears, but by their spirit. You walk away from these moments feeling lighter, wiser, expanded, like you have dusted off parts of your soul that had been asleep. They remind you that connection is not supposed to drain you. It's supposed to nourish you. It's supposed to feel like this, flowing, effortless, warm. They look at you when you speak, not past you, not around you. Their presence is a mirror that reflects not your facade, but your essence. There's no battle to be seen. You already are. There's no pressure to impress. You simply exist in your truth, and that is enough. Slowly, you realize that this is rare. This kind of connection doesn't happen often. Most people only hear words. Awakened souls listen to meaning. Most people ask about your day. Awakened souls ask about your journey. Most people talk to fill the silence. Awakened souls talk to reveal the soul. And sometimes the most powerful moments happen when neither of you speaks. Just sitting next to them, sharing space, feels like a conversation in itself. The silence becomes warm instead of awkward, intimate instead of empty. It's a silence that holds you, a silence that heals you. With them, you don't need constant words to feel connected. With them, silence feels like understanding. Number 3, the mirror, they trigger healing. When two awakened souls meet, they don't just see the version of you that you show the world. They see everything you've tried to bury. They become a mirror, not reflecting your face, but reflecting your truth. And sometimes the truth is uncomfortable. They trigger emotions you didn't know were still alive. Old wounds you thought you had outgrown. Fears you swore you'd conquered. In their presence, you realize you were only healed on the surface. Your heart was still bleeding underneath. You look into their eyes and suddenly the walls you spent years building begin to crumble. Not because you're weak, but because your soul recognizes that with them you no longer need to hide. You don't fully understand why you feel exposed, why you feel seen, why you feel like something deep inside you is being pulled to the light. It's because awakened souls don't come into your life to make you comfortable. They come to make you conscious. They hold up a spiritual mirror and show you the parts of yourself you've been avoiding. The insecurity you mask with confidence. The pain you cover with productivity. The loneliness you disguise with independence. They don't just see who you are, they see who you're afraid of becoming. And that is why the connection feels intense. Your soul is asked to rise. Your ego is asked to dissolve. You can't hide behind excuses or emotional armor. Every time they speak truth, it shakes something loose inside you. Every time they show love, it challenges the part of you that doesn't feel worthy. Every time they see your potential, it confronts the part of you that still feels small. You might find yourself feeling defensive, scared, or vulnerable. Not because they are hurting you, but because they are awakening you. Awakened souls don't tiptoe around the truth. They honor it. They don't feed your illusions. They gently dismantle them. They aren't impressed by your achievements. They are curious about your wounds. They don't care about the image you project. They care about the parts of you that tremble in the dark. And the strange thing is, they don't have to try. Their very presence stirs healing. They speak in a way that touches the places inside you that words were never supposed to reach. They listen in a way that unravels you, not with judgment, but with depth. With them, your soul can finally admit its fears. The fear of not being enough, the fear of being too much, the fear of being abandoned, rejected, misunderstood. They see it without you saying a word. You think you are hiding your wounds, but they see your heart through your silence. You think you are protecting yourself by keeping distance, but they sense the walls you built and the pain behind each one. The healing is not gentle. Sometimes they walk into your life and everything you haven't dealt with rises to the surface. Memories you've avoided for years return. Tears come without warning. Your emotions feel louder, sharper, harder to suppress. You might even push them away, not because you don't care, but because the connection scares you. They make you face yourself. They don't let you shrink into old patterns or play small. Their soul challenges you to grow into the person you were always meant to be. It isn't romance, it's evolution. It isn't dependency, it's awakening. When awakened souls meet, the heart says yes, but the soul whispers, this will change everything. And it does. Slowly, painfully, beautifully. You begin to break, but not down. You break open. Your heart cracks just enough to let the light in. You shed the version of yourself you became out of survival, so you can become the version that is rooted in truth. And through the intensity, through the vulnerability, through the tears and the discomfort, you begin to understand why they entered your life. Awakened souls don't come to complete you. They come to reveal you. Number 4, the expansion. They push each other into growth. When two awakened souls meet, expansion becomes inevitable. It isn't the kind of connection where one person carries the other, or where one tries to fix, save, or rescue the other. Instead, they inspire evolution simply by being who they are. They challenge each other to grow, not by demanding it, but by embodying it. They don't light your fire. They show you where your fire was hiding. Suddenly, dreams that once felt too big begin to feel possible. Ideas that were buried under fear start rising to the surface. They look at you and see not what you have been, but everything you are capable of becoming. They aren't intimidated by your strengths or threatened by your potential. They celebrate your growth because your expansion gives them permission to expand too. When you speak about your dreams, they don't respond with doubt or caution. They respond with belief and possibility. When you confess fears that have kept you stuck for years, they don't judge you. They help you break free from them. This connection isn't built on comfort. It's built on elevation. Your soul recognizes that with them, your life will not stay the same. You start making choices that honor the person you're becoming, instead of protecting the person you used to be. They challenge your excuses by existing. They raise your standards simply by living theirs. They don't push you to grow by pressure. They pull you into growth by example. Their presence activates something inside you, a knowing, a remembering, a calling. You start dreaming bigger, not because they told you to, but because their energy reminds you that you were always meant for more. The conversations between awakened souls are never shallow. They talk about purpose, alignment, passion, inner peace. Time becomes irrelevant. Hours disappear. You don't just talk about what you want to do. You talk about who you want to become. They ask questions that make you think. What is your soul craving? Who are you when no one is watching? What would you do if fear had no voice? And suddenly you realize that you've gone your whole life without being asked those questions. You realize how rare it is for someone to care about your inner world. Not the image you show, not your achievements, but the truth behind your eyes. Their belief in you makes you bold. Their confidence in you makes you try. Their presence in your life quietly eliminates anything that's not aligned. Relationships, habits, patterns, distractions. You don't have to force yourself to grow. You want to. Awakening becomes the natural side effect of loving someone who lives awake. When you doubt yourself, they remind you of your power. When you shrink, they raise your chin. When you settle, they remind you that settling is just another form of self-abandonment. They don't let you give up on yourself. Not because they need you to be strong, but because they know your soul was never meant to play small. You begin to see yourself differently, stronger, capable, chosen for something bigger. This connection becomes a spiritual mirror that reflects not only your wounds, but your greatness. Their love is not a cage, it's a catalyst. Their presence is not an anchor, it's a launch pad. They don't want to own your freedom, they want to expand it. And as you grow, they grow. As you awaken, they awaken deeper. As you evolve, they evolve with you. It's not a race, it's a rising. Two souls, side by side, elevating beyond who they once were. You don't fear losing them because the connection isn't rooted in possession. It's rooted in expansion. There's no jealousy, no competition, no insecurity, only alignment, only elevation, only soul-level evolution. And the most beautiful part is, the growth doesn't feel forced. It feels natural, inevitable, destined. You're not pushing each other into growth. You're rising together. You stop living from fear and start living from possibility. You stop hiding your light to make others comfortable. You stop dimming your voice to avoid judgment. With them you don't fade, you expand. Number 5, the calm. No fear, no games, no ego. When two awakened souls meet, something remarkable happens. Everything that once felt chaotic, anxious, uncertain, or intense suddenly becomes calm. It's a quiet kind of magic, a peace that doesn't need fireworks to feel real. There is no chasing, no overthinking, no wondering if you are too much or not enough. There are no games, no silent treatments, no emotional push and pull. Instead, there is presence. There is peace. You don't feel excited. You feel understood. Because excitement is what you feel when something is new, uncertain, unstable. But this isn't excitement. This is recognition. This is home. With them, your nervous system relaxes. Your breathing slows. Your walls soften. There is no fear that they will leave. Because awakened souls don't show up from emptiness. They show up from abundance. They aren't looking for someone to fill a void. They aren't searching for validation, attention, or ego boosts. They don't need you to complete them. They already know they are whole. And that is why, for the first time in your life, you experience a love that doesn't drain you. It nourishes you. Together there is no jealousy, because there is no insecurity. There is no need to prove worth or battle for power, because awakened souls don't operate from ego. They operate from truth. They allow each other to breathe, to grow, to expand, to exist. Love doesn't hurt when ego isn't involved. Love doesn't become complicated when fear isn't running the show. They don't question your loyalty, because real recognizes real. They don't try to own you, because awakened souls know that anything you have to possess to keep eventually becomes a prison. The connection feels like walking barefoot on grass after a lifetime of running on concrete. It feels like exhaling after holding your breath for years. Their presence is a sanctuary, a place where your spirit rests. You don't have to earn their affection. You don't have to impress them. You don't have to shrink or perform or pretend. You simply exist, and that is enough. With them, silence is not awkward. Silence is connection. It speaks without sound. It reassures without effort. You can sit together without words, and somehow the silence says, I see you, I feel you, I'm here. Conversations don't revolve around proving who's right. They revolve around discovering what's true. You don't fight to dominate. You grow to understand. With an awakened soul, emotional safety becomes the foundation. You can cry without being judged. You can express your fears without being mocked. You can be vulnerable without worrying that your vulnerability will be used against you later. For the first time, someone doesn't just hear your words. They feel your intention. They don't just listen to what you say. They understand what you mean. They value emotional honesty over emotional games. They choose clarity over confusion. They choose presence over performance. There is no need to second-guess their feelings or decode mixed signals. An awakened soul speaks openly, clearly, sincerely. They don't withhold love as punishment or give affection as reward. Love flows freely because it isn't a transaction, it's a truth. And that truth is unconditional. I don't love you because I need something from you. I love you because I see you. In the past, love may have felt like a battlefield, full of strategies, demands, expectations, power dynamics. But with them, love feels like a garden. You water each other, you grow together, you bloom without forcing. They don't fear losing you, because awakened souls know that real connections don't depend on control. They depend on freedom. They encourage you to live your dreams, explore your passions, be your fullest self. They don't hold you back. They lift you up. You both choose each other, not just once, but every day. Not from fear, but from alignment. Not from attachment, but from connection. When two awakened souls meet, there is no winning or losing, no competing for attention, no struggling for power. There is only peace. There is only presence. There is only a knowing that says, I've waited my whole life for a connection that finally feels like this. And that is the most beautiful truth Awakened souls don't compete, they connect.